Hello and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast. I'm Terry Morrow and I'm here with Catherine Holeko. Say hi, Catherine.
Hi, Terry.
Usually on this podcast we talk about parenting issues, but once a week, Catherine and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. This week, we continued our West Wing watch with the episode Drought Conditions. But first, our One Day at a Time watch continues, and I'm afraid to think maybe ends with the last episode of the 3rd season, which was called, maybe appropriately, Ghosts. I guess it hasn't quite given up the ghost yet, but there's been no word that they're going to miraculously produce a 4th season out of somewhere. So we leave Lydia in Cuba. Presumably she comes back at some point.
Right. But I felt that aside from that Lydia goes to Cuba moment, the rest of the episode was very much about tying up loose ends.
Yes, was it ever? But if you had told me that they had heard before this episode was made that they were going, this was the end, I would have believed it, because it sure seemed like a sign-off episode.
It seemed like they were hedging their bets, like,
yes,
just in case, we better do this.
Yeah, so. I mean, and even her being in Cuba, that's sort of something that she would have wanted to do. You would have wanted to see her get a chance to do that before you go, and it wasn't like she was kidnapped and taken there and it's a big cliffhanger, Right. I'm pretty sure the doctor can get her back. So... wow, I mean, they even addressed all the boyfriend things, and although I kind of, by the end of the conversation, remembered that guy they brought in at the end, but when he first came in, it's like, how many boyfriends ago was this?
Yep, Max, the tall guy.
Yeah. They still, there's one guy that I thought that had more potential to him, and we never saw him again, so I wished he had shown up in this, although I'm not sure at this point I would have recognized him.
Yeah.
But Schneider got his girlfriend back,
right.
And Elena got her closure on her quinceanera dance,
right.
And Penelope got her degree. So it was a good episode, but really felt like, let's tie up every possible loose end we can. Which was odd.
Yes.
And odd to see things that we had talked about kind of being addressed. So, okay. All right.
Right.
Well, good luck to you then.
Yep.
Hope everything works out well from here.
I thought it was nice the way Alex and Elena had their little moment where he was like, hey, that was great. And her speech, and she confessed that she didn't say what she wanted to say, and then he got her to say it. And,
I mean, I guess it was sort of necessary for the general tying up of loose ends, leaving things on a good feeling-ness of the episode, but I kind of wish her speech had the speech she gave to Alex about still being heard about her dad, I kind of wish that had been left alone and that it wasn't sort of all wrapped up in him, the dad stepping up and being a good guy. Yeah.
Well, it certainly would have been more real. Exactly. It would have been more probably true to life if he was just like, I think we're good, right? We're good.
That's right. I kind of like that being like a little raw edge. And, the fact that she gave this really nice speech and I'm thinking, well, yeah. Okay.
Right.
I mean, I think that she also could have also still been mad at him for leaving their mother. I felt like Penelope deserved to be stood up for a little bit there as well, and not just the quinceanera that meant so much to her once it involved rejection by her father, but meant absolutely nothing to her up until then.
Yeah.
Do we remember that story arc from way back there in the 1st season where she didn't want it?
Yeah.
Suddenly now it's the most important day of her life that was ruined. But, okay. Teenagers do that, so I'll let it go. But, anyway, well, I'm sad to let One Day at a Time go.
Yeah.
And I hope that it finds some, angel, some ghost to come down and save it. But, if not, it went out very pleasantly.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. I was glad.
And I'm glad we watched it.
The happy endings.
I'm glad we watched it overall, the whole series.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, me too. Well, for West Wing, this week we watched an episode called Drought Conditions, which it was one. It happens every so often with a show that it's. I have problems with the episode, and then I listen to the podcast, and then it makes me like the episode a whole lot more. So I came out of listening to the West Wing Weekly podcast episode of this much more appreciative, and now I kind of feel like I want to go back and watch it again. I did go back and watch the fight scene and the party scene, which got talked about a lot. But I think what my whole problem with it really is I just really don't like the framing device at the bar. I think it's kind of, it's like they're so obviously trying to make you draw different conclusions about what their relationship is. I like Mel Harris, happy to see her getting a paycheck. But I think still doesn't work for me and bothers me. And so even going into it now and knowing going in who she is, it just seems needlessly tricky. What did you make of that? Because you weren't coming into it knowing who she was.
Right. I did not know. So I gasped.
Like, is she a date? Is she a prostitute? Is she a therapist? What is the arrangement here?
Well, I thought it was somebody he was sleeping with, which is what they were implying the whole time. And at one point when he said to the president something about thank you for the letter for my sister-in-law, I had a sudden flash of like, oh gosh, is it his sister-in-law? Which luckily no.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was quite surprised when it was revealed at the end. And it did feel, not so much the misdirect, but just the whole flashback and everything of it felt very old-timey West Wing, for sure.
Right. I guess. I just wonder if it was necessary. I'm kind of curious if you recut this and just made everything chronological, if it would be that much worse. I think you still could. For me, the fight between Josh and Toby is like the centerpiece. That is such a powerful and uncomfortable and awful scene. The two of them, just two guys just suddenly going at it, and that it's been building up for a long time, that Toby is so resentful.
Right. And in that case, the podcast did help me because I was having a little trouble buying that it would come to blows so quickly like that. But then they pointed out in the podcast about how John Wells, I think, had told a story about him and his brother and how they fought when they were kids and how things could escalate extremely quickly.
Right.
So, and then I thought, I could see that. And as you mentioned, Toby has just been seething ever since Josh left and feeling so betrayed. And then on top of it, his brother has died and has died by suicide. And so...
Yes. And he can't punch his brother.
Right.
So it's like it's all combined. And then also, Josh has also been under a tremendous amount of pressure, and now he suddenly feels betrayed by this person who has been, like a brother to him. So as I could buy it, and I just thought sort of the rawness of it was very nice. And then the scene afterwards with CJ and Toby was just heartbreaking. And so it's like, it was completely, everything in the episode was worth it for that scene. That was just...
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Just so wonderful, and so much history, and so much, weight to their relationship. And that was very, very nice. So I liked that. And, hey, here comes Mark Fierstein back.
Cliff Cali.
Yeah, Cliff Cali. Gonna move into the steampunk trunk distribution venue where they put the Republicans.
Exactly. Yeah, that should be interesting.
Yeah. I knew he was coming back. I couldn't remember exactly when, but good for him.
Yeah.
And, and the whole thing with CJ's blouse and the little bits of business all through, bringing a little levity there. And, I didn't understand what had happened. I figured out later what had happened with, I guess, Annabeth shot a rubber band at her to tell her that she had let her thing down.
Which, and the point they made in the podcast, like, only the women are noticing this.
That's right.
There was really no need to... Because the women are all in on it, and the men don't know. The men don't notice. So there was, and it did make me laugh too how CJ in her closet had all like stained clothing. Like how about taking them to the dry cleaner as soon as they get stained instead of waiting for, a whole closet full.
I think that was Margaret's point. But but I can totally see how you would hang it up thinking I need to take that and then just like, 5, global crises pass over your desk and you might kind of forget.
Yes, you might.
So she got a tough job. And I did enjoy the Will and Kate scene. Although maybe not enough to merit how much it got talked about on the podcast, but still, it was enjoyable, and it's fun to see them getting together. And now I don't have to worry about him and Donna anymore. So
true.
And Donna and Josh slipped right back into the old patterns where she pulls him aside to tell him about this thing, and he's like, "Is our relationship about to change?" Right. And I'm like, "Oh, Josh, there's the Josh we know and love." He's been gone, but now he's being inappropriate again.
He's back. Yes,
very nice. They're back in the White House, so they're not sparring. There are no chickens. Yeah. Anyway, that was a good. More and more and more, I'm feeling like that was a good episode. I liked that episode. That was good.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, it felt like the West Wing of yore, with all of the the highs and the lows and the cutting back and forth and the flashbacking and the personal drama, the political drama, like everything. Yeah, everything piled up in there.
Dulé Hill got a few scenes. We haven't seen Charlie in a while. Hey, I remember that guy. So this was, we thought this was going to be just a completely White House episode, but I guess it had a little bit. It had White House and campaign
because you had Matt Santos singing.
I did enjoy that very much. I didn't realize until they talked about it on the podcast that he was singing Allison because the article was written by somebody named Allison. Yeah. I was wondering why exactly that song. But that makes sense. And I also completely did not understand whose glasses those were at any point in the episode or all through the podcast until somebody just kind of said it in passing. And I was, his brother's glasses? I didn't know that. How were we supposed to know that?
It must have come out in the episode at some point, because I did know by the time I listened to the podcast.
I had no idea.
I don't remember when it happened.
If they did, I completely missed it. I know multiple people asked him about them, and so I don't know where that came up. But solved a mystery. Yes. Well, now our mystery is, what are we going to watch for next week? Because sadly, we will not have an episode of One Day at a Time to watch anymore, at least for the immediate future. So we are going to go back to Fosse Verdon, which we talked about a couple of episodes ago. We talked about a couple of episodes ago. And now we're going to talk about a couple more. So for next week, we are going to watch the 3rd episode, Me and My Baby, and the 4th episode, Glory. And then we will talk about those, and then we'll go another couple of weeks and we'll talk about the last 2 episodes in the series. And then on the West Wing, we're going to watch an episode called A Good Day, which was mentioned in the West Wing Weekly podcast this week for being directed by Richard Schiff. So we shall look forward to that. And that is going to be it for our Round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes. We have something new for you every weekday. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com.